What's up, everybody? You are tuned into another week of Access Granted, the pod stream. It's your boy, Mr. Antoine, in the building, and I am here with my sister. Where's the maracas?
I got them down here.
You can't come on here shaking no water bottle. That's not gonna work.
She got the whole water bottle.
Yeah, she's right.
I did that.
How's everything going with you, sis?
Good. It's going well.
I am a little bit upset right now because I tried to push the time back a little bit just because it was getting close to the time and neither one of you were here. And now this isn't showing up on Facebook the way that I need it to be, but I'm going to pimp the YouTube feed over to there. But I hope all is well, man. I hope everyone is having a tremendous week. Had a great weekend. It rained literally all weekend in Baltimore. So yeah. We didn't get a chance. We didn't get a chance to get out and do much, but it is what it is. We made the best of it. I do want to send my thoughts and prayers to the people down in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I understand that they had a major tornado that kind of touched down there. And
really?
Yeah. And I think I don't know for sure, but I think that's probably kind of rare for Virginia Beach. But they definitely had a tornado that touched, and so pray that everyone there is safe. And I haven't heard of any deaths or anything like that. So thankfully, if anything, it was just loss of property and things that can be replaced. Right. But yeah, it's crazy. But we don't have this young lady for us for too long tonight, so we're not going to mess around at the beginning like we usually do. It's an honor and a privilege to have Miss Paula Campbell in the building, Baltimore's own. She down there in Atlanta looking like she just graduated from high school like 3 or 4 years ago, y'all.
Accept it.
I don't know what the Atlanta air is doing for her, but whatever it is, I pray that it's well. Welcome to Access Granted.
Thank you. These Baltimore jeans, I get this from my mom.
That's right. Tell it. So I'm going to start off in a different way because I am actually ashamed that I just found out on yesterday. I was years old when I found out that Paula Campbell sings the hook for "It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp." You have got to be kidding me.
This is true.
Yeah.
But on the movie, it is actually it's Taraji P. Henson on the movie. So
that don't count on the movie. That don't count. But, you got the Academy Award, right?
No, the Academy Award was for the movie.
Oh, it's for the movie.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
I was signed to Columbia at the time, and KP was really good friends with 3-6 Mafia. And I was at a Grammy party, literally, and Juicy J was talking about a project he had coming out, and KP was like, my A&R was like, put my artist on it. And he was like, all right. And the next week, we recorded it. That was it.
That's
amazing.
It. That's it. That's all.
That's it. It was a long, drawn-out story.
Yeah, and this is the funny part. I was actually watching the movie last night, and something told me actually this is what it was. I was watching the movie and I was online doing a little bit of homework about some stuff, and I came across a post, and it listed you as the singer, and I was like, that's not Paula singing that. And then actually looked it up on some reliable sources, and I was like, wow, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. You hear it
Congratulations.
on the radio, it's me. Y'all
Yeah.
play it and I get a check sometimes.
Go play it. That's right. That's right. That's what it's all about. So from Baltimore, tell us a little bit about your upbringings here.
Man, that's a long story. We ain't gonna fit that in all of it now.
Okay.
So I grew up in Baltimore City, White Lock Street, Murder Mall. I was the youngest until I was 14 of one, two, three, four siblings, now five. And yeah, I I survived. Can we can we go there?
And
I survived. It's a lot. It's a lot to unpack in there.
does the Baltimore that you're from does it remind you or resemble in any way the Baltimore that we know and love today? Because those of us that are from here, we still love our city. We still rep our city to the
Yeah,
fullest. So we don't.
absolutely. I just think that with this, this generation, there is a level of respect that, I had when I was growing up, whether it was to your elders, whether it was a street code or what have you. This day and age, I really don't see much of that. So I will say when I come back home where, I felt like I'm good in any hood. I can't say that I feel that safety in Baltimore. And I'm from that life. So I don't ever feel like I should ever be in a space where I don't feel like I'm good. But being home,
Yeah.
sometimes like it is definitely pretty eerie. I'm not gonna say it doesn't resemble the Baltimore because it absolutely does. But there are a lot of changes and a lot of differences. Yes.
Familiar with White Lock, so I understand what you say when you when you about that life, because White Lock is its own little city within like a 10-block radius, so to speak. Um,
Yeah.
I have family that grew up in the area, and I'm actually around in that area. But it's changed a lot. You know,
Hmm.
there's a lot of other folks that have come in and turned little row houses into brownstones and stuff like that now, and
Yeah.
the
Well, the brownstones were there, but the
yeah,
gentrification is
right,
definitely like I
right.
definitely have seen that. And I was actually talking to Donnie Glover from Be More News.
Shout out to
Was
Donnie.
it yesterday or the day before
Okay.
yesterday? And we were talking about me coming back to Baltimore and things like that. And I was like, when I'm there, I don't really want to stay long. But when I think in terms of like, do I want to buy property in Baltimore, like in the city? I do. And now I feel like I'm so behind the ball. And he was
Yeah.
like, like so many people want to leave, but for
Mhm.
me, like that's always gonna be home. Is nowhere I could go on this earth, nowhere I've been on this earth that I felt like it was home, except LA for a little while. And then, I got over that real quick. But home is home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Atlanta feel like home, or like
No,
you feel like you're not settled at all?
no, no. It's not that I'm not settled. What I will say that I truly love about my city is that, uh, like the whole term keeping it real. What you see is what you get from most Baltimoreans, like authentic Baltimoreans. We don't care about um, how much money you have, what walk of life you from, sexuality. Like we don't care. If you are a decent person, then we like you, and if you're not a decent person, then we
Yeah.
don't like you. If what we say in the beginning is exactly what it is, and sometimes we're harsh, or if you're another Baltimorean or even a New Yorker or someone from Philly, like we kind of get each other that East
Yeah.
Coast vibe.
Yeah.
We don't take it personally. It's just like we're very direct people. And I find that here it can be a bit more contrived and cliquish and things like that.
Mhm.
So things that were never my normal, and now that I see it, and I've seen it so much, it doesn't sit well with me. And I love Georgia, like I love everything that it is, like Black City, the Black wealth, us supporting each other. Like, oh man, like you don't get it anywhere else
Yeah.
like this. Like you get it in Georgia, so I love it for what it is. But if you ask me if it's home for me, I'm gonna say that's not my thought.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, you know, um, the whole point of, I'm sure, you move for your career.
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
No, no. I moved. My daughter actually will be graduating from Clark the end of this week. And yeah, she's got
Congratulations.
she got a full scholarship to get her master's. She has two internships, one at Clark and one for Harvard. So honestly, it was to really change the dynamic of her upbringing. I'm a light skinned lady raising a brown girl. I didn't understand the difference with because I dealt with colorism growing up. Like people
Mhm.
that are darker. Like I had to block some people on Twitter, like because I'm light skinned, I can't experience colorism, but that is not true.
Me
Like
neither.
I grew up where I wasn't black enough and I wasn't white enough either. Like we still the same, but I didn't understand from the aspect of this little brown girl and everybody coming up to me and it's like, oh, you're beautiful, but my little brown baby doesn't see that in her. So for me, moving to Atlanta was making sure like her education was good, that she understood that we are beautiful in every color, and there are things that I am not that she is, that is so gorgeous and so beautiful and phenomenal. And
Mhm.
if I'm grateful to Georgia for anything, it is teaching my daughter like all of the black girl magic and understanding that
Yeah, yeah,
black
yeah.
girl magic is so real. Like that, it did that for my daughter. So I don't
Right.
have complaints.
Isn't it crazy, with all of the racism that we're still dealing with in 2023, that sometimes a lot of the hate comes from our very own just because our complexions are a little bit darker or a little bit lighter. It's just
Yeah.
mind blowing to me.
It's
It's
really sad. It's so unfortunate. Like I tell people all the time, like I think like my grandmother was brown skin, blue eyes, like she was bad, like had like this orange brown, like popping. And I literally, when I was a little girl, I used to sit in the sun in the summertime with Vaseline on, hoping to get probably about your complexion, Antoine. Like
wow.
literally, like hoping to get it. Like I just wanted to. And she was 6 feet tall, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna look like her. That was the most beautiful thing to me. So it's unfortunate that we're taught to be separate because I
Mhm.
wasn't taught that until I was in the world and in school and then people treating me differently because of a complexion, but I didn't know that because everybody was different in my family.
Yeah. I can see you running down White Lock with a bunch of Vaseline caked on you in August.
Shiny, you better believe it.
Shining
Shiny,
literally. Shining literally.
shiny on
That's
concrete playgrounds.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. With no give. When you fall on those playgrounds, it's a wrap. Something's gonna be some skin is gonna be ripped, some bones are gonna be broken. Trust me. I'm a
Listen.
victim several times over. So let's talk about the music a little bit. My first memory of Paula Campbell is the Shoe City commercial.
Ha ha ha.
My oh my, the Shoe City commercial. I was like, who is that? My wife was upstairs, but I think I can be honest and say I was kind of on you on that commercial, Paula. You was, you like, I was like, who is this? And not even thinking about the fact that, you know, Shoe City is I don't know if it's a Baltimore base, but I know it's heavy in this area.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I didn't put two and two together that they got someone from the city to represent. But that's my first memory of you and music. So like kind of talk about what was going on for you. Was that like around your start as well? What was going on with you music wise around that time?
Well, then How Does It Feel was already popping.
Okay.
So my
Okay.
first like How Does It Feel was the number one song for 8 weeks straight. The summer of '04, Baltimore, DC, Virginia.
Four.
Um, yeah, it was a long time ago. And so Shoe City just Scott, I forget his last name. He actually still will hit me up to check on me from time to time, but he doesn't work for Shoe City. They actually went out of business like a
Mm-hmm.
month or two ago.
Yep.
But yeah, they've reached out and just asked me to do a jingle. Like I had no idea it was gonna be like the commercial or the
Mhm.
size of the buses or the billboards. Like I had no idea. And then honestly, when it happened, I still didn't even understand what it was. I was like, oh, that's cute.
And then it turned into like a whole little miniature music video for you. Y'all had the
Yeah,
choreography and
yeah.
everything popping off on
I had no clue. I was just like, oh, that's cute. I'm gonna do it. Yeah. And they gave me free clothes.
Hey,
That would have been the value
And
for
I'm like,
me.
isn't
That's
it
all I
like
would have needed.
that's like a check and some free stuff? Like, why not? Like honestly, because you really like in that space, I didn't understand what it meant to be on the side of a bus and have my
Mhm.
face plastered on
Yeah.
to be on a billboard, and the commercial was great. It was like, oh, I'm on a commercial, but I didn't know what else to say except, oh, I'm on a commercial. Like you
mhm.
don't know,
Right.
like I don't have I don't understand how to, I didn't understand how to like market that or take it to the
Mm.
next level. So it was just like, oh, that's me on TV.
Were
It
you
really stopped there.
so were you like signed to a label at this point, or you were
At
still
that
kind of
point, yeah, I was still independent during the Shoe
okay?
City days.
Okay.
Yeah.
How I mean, because being independent now, I'm assuming was like way different than it was back in 2004. How was the independent grind for you back then? Because like the access to the world, has totally changed now. I mean, like you can put your stuff out at the click of a button now. So how was it for you
Absolutely.
back then?
It was fun. It was work, but it was fun. You don't understand, you really don't understand that you're not reaching the other parts of the world. So being in that bubble, like Baltimore, and I was blessed to get DC, VA, some of Philly, Delaware, like being like I would be out putting up my own posters, stapling them up. Like that was fun for me. People thought I was a boy because I had my little hat on, my hair in braids or whatever. Like, and I'm just out there with the street team doing things to promote myself. I'm at the clubs when I'm not performing. I'm be doing out street flyers. Or throw flyers is what you call them, where you just go and you take a whole bunch of flyers. So when everybody's in the club, you just throw them on the street so they see your face plastered all on the ground. Like that was fun for me. Um, I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate the internet.
Mm, mm. So like you're not really on like I mean I'm sure you're familiar with I know there's a because there's so much and you got to worry about algorithms and all these other isms these days but like have you kind of adapted to just the ability to stream your music and have it available on so many different platforms
Yeah.
everything like that.
Yeah, I definitely release my own music. What I try not to really get involved in is algorithms and all of that. Like when I did How Does It Feel, I remember I was at Rod's house and he had wrote this song to the beat that I sang and we recorded it. I still hate it to this day. And Rod put it to another beat. He knows I hate it. And I was like, I'm not, like, I wouldn't say that. And he was like, okay, well, then sing what you would say. So, How Does It Feel really kind of came more so of a freestyle. I went home, I kind of came up with the first few lines, and then everything else was pretty much a freestyle. Um, I feel like people gravitate toward me because I've always been authentic in my music. So, yeah, I want to be received. Yeah, I want to reach the masses, but it has to matter to me. So, I'm not going to fold or be something different because I'm trying to get an algorithm or,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna be me. You like it, you rock with me or you don't. You know what I mean? Like I get it. Like everybody can't be Beyonce. That's why you have your uh K Michelle's or your Keisha Cole's or your Jasmine Sullivan's or your Chrisette Michelle's. Like, everybody can't be Beyonce. So wherever
Mhm.
I am and whoever receives me, that's the audience I'm supposed to be received in. So do I want my algorithm to go and pop and
Of
reach the
course.
masses? Do I want my music to touch people of different ages, different races, different countries, like absolutely ethnicities? But whatever it's supposed to do, it'll do that. And I'm
Mhm.
not gonna like stress myself. I think
Right.
that's why people get depressed and really stress themselves because it's just like, well, they're doing this and I gotta reach this. I'm gonna put this music out and I hope it reaches you. And if that don't, guess what? I'm gonna put something else out because it pleases me.
Mhm.
Mm. I wish more people had that thought process. I believe that this is my business partner. Good evening, everyone. Shout out to fellow Douglas Duck.
Quack, quack. That,
Had I
that, that,
known that,
that.
had I known that.
Don't forget to say the historic, the great Frederick Douglass.
Yeah, I got, I got a lot of love for Douglas because first of all, my mom graduated from Douglas, and secondly, when I went to Walbrook, I graduated from Walbrook, and I marched in the band at Walbrook, and at that time, which was from '84 through '87. Walbrook and Douglas were the only bands in the city that could be touched. Like we were the only things even close to.
Oh well, when I was there, Lake
Ah,
Clifton was giving us a run
ah,
for our money.
ah. It was Walbrook and Douglas back then, and then we had like the Baltimore West Siders, but we didn't consider them a band because they didn't play music. They just beat. They were just a drum corps to us, so we didn't. You know,
Mm.
we played music. We should have played some Paula Campbell back in the
She ain't had nothing nobody
day.
knew.
So, like, what are you working on anything like now? No, before we go there, I want to talk a little bit about writing. Have you like done any writing for other artists?
I've done ghostwriting, so I
Yeah.
have done some ghostwriting. I haven't done anything that you're going to see my name on and be like, oh, that's Paula. But that
Okay.
is something like I've branched away from doing the ghostwriting and now just kind of like writing and submitting for artists. Yes.
I'm not sure what hand pink waving means, but do you know Tanya?
I do know Tanya. Hey,
Okay.
Tanya.
Hey Tanya, thank you for tuning in,
I
Tanya.
think that is that Tanya, the truck driver.
I don't know, Tanya. Are you the truck driver? Whatever hand pink waving means. That's kind of weird.
He
No, I
spelled
was
it Tanduya.
Tan. It might be Tanaya. I might or Tania. I might be pronouncing that wrong. But the reason that I asked about the writing is because I know a lot of people have made great careers, and from the music of yours that I've listened to, if you've written it all yourself, you seem that you're a very good writer. And
Thank you.
I've always wondered if because you've been in the industry for so long, and I'm sure you've made some great, connections. Have like other artists, ever reached out to you to do some writing for them?
The writer's room is crazy. So I will say this, like I don't write all of my own music. I do write
Mhm.
most of my own music, but if somebody submits a great song to me and I want to sing it. Like I'm not the writer that's like, oh, I need to change this because like if it's a great song where most writers, it is it is savage. And they're like they are
Mhm.
nobody wants like everybody wants the publishing. So I used to be very shy in the writer's room, which is like what led to just me ghostwriting because I wasn't the gorilla that was gonna be like, oh no, I need to do this. Or when somebody else was going with the flow, like I wasn't gonna go against the grain. So yes, I have a lot of friends and I've made a lot of connections. And sometimes, I'll go into writers' rooms and we'll do writer sets and stuff like that. Uh, but not to the capacity that I think that I should be. Hi, Fatima.
Fatima, thank you.
Fatima.
I'm sorry, I got to make one quick adjustment. Alenia, can you take
Sure.
over for a second?
So, Paula, I know for some people in the audience, they probably don't know, but have you always wanted to do what you're doing?
Absolutely. When I was a little girl, I wanted to be a singer, a mother, and a wife.
Mm.
Those were when I was in the kindergarten. I don't know if my mom still has the paper, but I wanted to be a singer, a mother, and a wife.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So during your progression, okay, so you're accomplishing these things. What has been like one? I'm sure you probably have several. I'm sure you probably
Mhm.
have several. But what has been one of those pivotal moments that you're like, wow, you can never get it back, but you definitely stayed present when it happened.
You know, the crazy thing is it probably wasn't my biggest moment,
Uh-huh.
but for me, it was huge. I did the Stone Soul picnic, and it was about 200,000 people outside.
Mm.
They stayed. It was raining, and when I was a little girl, um, Regina Bell was one of my favorite like singers when I was a little
Mhm.
girl, and Regina Bell was on stage, and they were like Paula, Paula, and I was like, wait a minute, that's
Oh,
Regina Bell.
Right.
Wait a minute, get it together. But and I don't even think like during that show I was hoarse. Like it was just so much
Mhm.
happening. I don't think it was my best show. I don't think it was the biggest show. I've been on tour with Neo. Like we definitely had huge arenas, but
Right.
in that moment, it was just like, wow, like my city, it's
yeah.
almost 200,000 people out here, and
Wow.
it's raining, and they went and
Oh.
got umbrellas, and they stayed for me.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
I'm still in awe of that. Like
Oh,
y'all stayed for
right.
me. Like
Right.
you stayed outside, and it wasn't pouring down. It started pouring down, and it's drizzled or whatever, and
Mhm.
it's light rain. But they stayed to
Right.
see me.
Mhm.
That like I want to cry right now. I didn't in that moment. I'm just like I'm Paula Campbell. But
Right.
in hindsight, like after I thought about it, literally after getting off the stage, they stayed for me in the rain with their
Mm.
kids, with umbrellas, without umbrellas. They stayed. They wanted to get autographs directly after. I didn't
Mm.
even know that I had that type of an impact. Like
Right.
I,
Right.
I didn't understand that. I didn't know what that meant. I just want to sing. Again, I was in the kindergarten. I wanted to be a singer.
Right.
So like I just wanted to sing. I know people like when I sing, but
Meant that they loved.
that was like
Mhm.
if God really didn't give me anything else, he gave me what I prayed for. Now,
Wow.
do I want to go further? Like, hey, God, like my prayer, it was a little smaller than I imagined it to
Right.
be. But
Mhm.
if if you ask me if God gave me everything that I prayed for in that moment, as far as what I wanted to do with my gift, I'm a mother.
Mhm.
I was married and divorced by 19. I got to be a wife. But
Right.
like God gave me every single thing that I had prayed for in that moment. That's
Wow.
the beauty of it.
Wow. And it's something, hearing you speak about it, because it gave me chills when you were talking, because a
Yeah.
lot of times,
You could feel it. Yeah.
yeah, you could. And I'm sure, along with that, um, during, even your progression, what has been a a big lesson that you have learned? Because you have this moment, but then there's always all these lessons that come along. But is there one lesson that hey, it's like, uh
Honestly, probably two. To always live in the moment
hmm
and to always show up as your best self. I think I
yeah.
said a little earlier, like I was very shy in the writer's room. I was just insecure because I would be in there with like noted Grammy Award winners, winning writers and producers. Like
hmm
when I was in the studio with Neo, by the time I got my pen and pad out of my bag, he was in the booth recording whatever. That's how I learned really how to like freestyle. Now I just kind of freestyle my songs. Carvin Higgins is another one. Like he just kind of does things and he starts freestyling, and that's
hmm
kind of like it. But to live in the moment and always show up as your best self, even when you're scared, you can still
yeah.
show up as 100% of you. Like I'm scared, but I'm here. Here I
Right.
go. What we? I'm scared, but it is what it is. I'm here. What's about to happen?
Right.
So I think that those are the lessons that I've taken from a lot
Mhm.
of my experiences.
Right. Do you feel that your career, from when you was in LA, okay, so you Baltimore, LA, Atlanta, and I don't know if you had any other place in between,
Mhm.
but where did you find your career, actually do a major upswing from?
What do you mean? What place?
Yes. So in LA or in Atlanta
It's
or
definitely always going to be Baltimore, like
mm,
Maryland, Baltimore, DC, VA, and then probably LA, New York, Philly. Atlanta, I don't really, like my career is not like the poppinest in Georgia.
mhm.
So,
Mm.
yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And it's
Gotcha.
a lot of Baltimore folks down there. It's a lot of Baltimore folks down
It
there.
is.
It's crazy. Um, Gosh, I wish we could keep you longer. I know that you're on a schedule right now. Are you do you need to leave now? Can we get a couple more in or
You got a couple more in.
okay. Okay. Because I'm just interested. Are we gonna get a project from Paula anytime soon?
Yes, actually, I am working on, well, I'm pretty much finished the project. I'm actually doing something right now
In
to
the
finish,
studio.
yeah, to finish. I need to redo a bridge on something and then, oh, goodness, redo a bridge on something and then one other song. But like it's done. So the single is Girlfriend 2. I don't know if you guys got that, if they sent it to you, but the single is Girlfriend 2. And yeah, it's actually they're playing it in Baltimore, DC, Ohio. So we're getting some love on it. And it's definitely Baltimore influenced. And yeah, so
Hmm.
making sure I told my dad, I was just like, this time I don't want to just put out a single. I want to make sure I put out the entire project. So,
Okay.
you know, I'll put out a single here and there, but I really don't put out a project. But I'm gonna put this project out. Do I have the release date? Before the end of the year, y'all have it.
Okay. So she giving y'all like 7 months to
Right.
chill. No, but it's due, and I think you talked earlier about just the love that Baltimore has for you, and I know when I kind of back a couple of months ago when I originally was when we was originally supposed to have you and scheduling got mixed up. There were people that were disappointed. There were people that were truly
Oh my
disappointed.
God.
And no, it's not a fault of your own. And once I got this date rescheduled, I kind of put up a save the date flyer, and people were like all on it and ready. So I think at least in Baltimore, D.C., Virginia, I think we're ready to get some more Paula Campbell music out there. We're pumped, so we're waiting. I know I'm waiting. I know I'm
Thank you. I
definitely waiting.
appreciate it. I'm ready. It's coming.
So we're gonna let you get out of here. I know you're in the studio now, and I know you just said that you have some other work to do. Let everyone know how they can keep in touch and follow you, so that when the time does come, we can go and get all of that good music.
Sure. All of my social outlets are Paula Campbell. Facebook is I am Paula Campbell. That's my main page. I also have the musician page. So if you're on here, make sure you follow the musician page because DNA is making sure and PETA are making sure like they start updating that. And that way I can kind of have fun with friends and family on my personal pages.
Yeah.
And do more updates about my career on the musician page. And yeah, that's it. My TikTok, I got a TikTok now. It is the dot Paula Campbell, the
Okay.
dot Paula Campbell. And but I'm mostly on Instagram. It's really me on Instagram and Twitter. I respond on Twitter. I'm probably a little crazy, so don't don't come around these parts if you ain't ready.
Hey, she told y'all she from Whitelock. Don't, don't be careful with the smoke. And shout out to Peter. Thanks to her for connecting us and putting this together. She was really good at making sure I did my due diligence and did everything right the second time, because I didn't do everything right the first time, and I apologize to her for that. But thank her for being patient and helping us put this together. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're gonna let you get out of here, because the sooner you get off here, the sooner you can get that hook done, and we can keep this
Hey,
music rolling. So we definitely appreciate you. And if you're ever in
Yes. Thank
Baltimore,
you.
if you're ever in Baltimore, man, you
thank you
gotta you gotta
guys.
make sure. Hey, we got a nice, newly renovated, really renovated arena for you to come here and rock now. So
Oh,
come
let's
on
do
home,
it.
come on
Let's
home
do
and
it.
perform for us.
That's
We
what I'll
definitely.
be there. I'll be there on the 13th for the Baltimore reunion at Patapsco Arena. And then I have something here that Donnie Glover is honoring me for. Um, It's like for the racial non-bias. I don't want to say what it is because Donnie will slap me if I
Yeah.
say it wrong. But he's honoring me here, and then I'm back in Baltimore for the Waterfront Festival at the Harbor on June 3rd. So
I will see you on June 3rd. I I will be at the Waterfront Festival just because you just said it. I won't actually, if you were referring to May the 13th, my wife and I are actually flying out for her 50th birthday that day. So I'm going to
oh
miss you
wow.
then, but I will be at the Waterfront Festival. I'll make sure and I'm going to pull up on you like, Paula, what's up?
I look forward to it. I look
Absolutely.
forward to it.
Absolutely. And looking forward to having you here. I thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank
your time.
you.
See you
Yeah, yeah.
guys later.
All
Thank
All right.
right.
you.
Go on and do that hook. Go do that hook.
You better, but you know what? I can't find it. No, I'm kidding. All right, see y'all later.
Take it easy. Have a good one. Man, she's amazing. I told you
Yeah,
I
that
knew
was good.
it was gonna be fun. So this is kind of an abbreviated edition tonight. And I'm thankful because I actually thought I was told that she was gonna be like in a car on her way to the studio
Oh,
at this
wow.
time. So just the fact that she, was able to get there a little bit early and actually sit down and talk with us was cool.
Which was
And I'm gonna
nice.
get it back. We're gonna get a part two.
Which was very nice. It was
Yeah,
it was good to hear from her. I
yeah,
think so many people miss who she is. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Really who she is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of them don't even know. They're
A
like, who?
lot of them don't know.
You're like, who? Y'all better go. I started to play that Shoe City commercial. I swear
You
we'd have
should
more
have that.
time.
I mean, you could have closed this out with it, but
If we had, she when she first jumped on, I asked her how much time she had, and she was like, I only have 30 minutes. And I felt like it was more important to get as much, information and ask as many questions as we
Mhm.
could. Because y'all can go on YouTube and just put in Paula Campbell Shoe City and it comes
Right.
right up. She
And
looks
there
like
it
she
is.
was about, 13 or 14 in that video. Yeah.
Exactly.
I didn't get a chance to say this in the beginning of the show, but I did want to did want to send my condolences out to the Woodson family um, on the passing of Miss Evelyn Woodson, who was Neil Woodson's mother. Yeah,
Really?
she passed away. She was actually funeralized on this past Saturday, and
Wow.
let me tell you something. Real quick story. So St. Stephen's, 3 sections: middle, right, left.
Right.
I sat in the middle, on the very end of the middle aisle. Miss Woodson used to sit on the left hand side. And
Mm-hmm.
every now and then, you know how you can feel somebody looking at you? I could feel the
Ah.
flame. And I would look over at Miss Woodson and she'd do like this. And I would shoot at her like this, pop, pop, and say, I'm going to see you in the parking lot. And we literally did that every Sunday that she was at church for as long as I was at St. Stephen's. That was my buddy
Mhm.
right there. But yeah, definitely
Wow.
prayers to the Wilson family.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
of my favorite people, definitely some of my favorite people, and
Yeah.
yeah, that was tough. She's been sick for a long time, so
Has she? Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so yeah. Anything going on in your world, my dear?
No, just working. Your
I
girl is
know.
over working.
See that schedule. And how is my little one doing? How is my
She's
little one?
doing very well. She just celebrated her 1 year Deltaversary. So her and her line sisters went out and she's just enjoying getting ready to she has to do her internship and then that way she's done and graduating and moving on to what's next.
Man, these kids are growing up so fast.
I
Oh
know, and
my
it's
gosh.
how
Yeah.
quickly everything is
Yeah.
happening, and you got it. It's just interesting to see how they're navigating life now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And the thing that I always say is crazy is there were kids in car seats and strollers at St. Stephen's that are now growing up and having kids now, and it's just mind
Isn't
blowing.
that something?
It's just
Yeah,
mind blowing to me.
yeah. Because what you met Selena when she was what 10?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
met Selena when she was 10, and now
yeah,
she's get ready to turn 23.
that's
It's insane. It's
definitely.
insane.
And salute to Miss Sheila Carr Spence. She was just voted the YPD district president
Okay.
conference, something. You know
Yeah,
how that. I
she's
don't forgot all of that. I
Baltimore
forgot all of that.
RPD. Yeah.
Right. So she's like, she's like, oh.
Yeah.
Actually, she's been so involved in it for so long that I actually thought she had like a top position anyway. But then I remember, I think the Stewart brothers, their mom, is her name
Miss
is
Arlette.
Arlene.
Yeah.
I
Miss
thought, I
Arlette
think,
was for a long period of
yeah.
time. And then from Miss Arlette, it was Mama Wanda. And then Mama Wanda had it, and then she just finished her term, and now it's Sheila.
No, Sheila. Congratulations, Sheila. Well deserved. Well deserved. Well deserved. All right, man. We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna make this early. We're gonna punch out early.
And nothing wrong with it. It was
Real
good.
quick. Let
We
me
got the information. We gave it to the audience.
Let me see real quick if I know who next week's guest is. Yes, I'm gonna keep that one a surprise. We're gonna have a great show. We're gonna have
you need to call me.
Uh-oh.
Because you didn't read your email.
I read. Okay, we'll talk about that offline. But I literally just checked before I went on to see if you were okay. We got you. I need your phone number.
I sent it to you last week. I did. I sent it to you.
Oh, okay.
When you said you got to send me your number.
I need to go and check that then because I definitely didn't. And I want to give a shout out to my boy Brian Lyrics for the Beat Boys music merch. He had a big performance this past week in Baltimore. So shout out to him, man. Thanks to everybody that tuned in. I'm actually going to redo this video and put it on YouTube again and then share it to the world to see. And as soon as I hang up, I'm going to work on getting Paula Campbell back for part 2 when she has a little bit more time. Because I ain't get to get all up in her business.
You got a lot of information.
Wait. We ain't get scandalous. No, I'm just playing. You know, we don't do scandal here on Access Granted, but definitely appreciate her for taking some time. I appreciate you, sis, for hopping on. I know you were probably like
yep.
And I appreciate that. And just thanks to everybody for tuning in, man.
Yes.
We're gonna get through this rain, y'all. We got about 3 more days, and then it's supposed to be nice outside. So hopefully spring will arrive in about 3 days, man.
Spring is here. We just don't have warm weather.
We just I don't even want to talk about the weather. I mean, I told somebody yesterday when it snowed in California more than it snowed in Baltimore for the winter, something in the atmosphere.
Crazy,
right? So
the ozone.
Yeah, man, the ozone. I keep telling people don't understand. It's real. It's real. But another story for another day. I love you, sis. I appreciate you.
All right, you're welcome.
Shake the maracas for me one time before we get out of here. She's shaking the water bottle. There we go. All right, man. We will see you guys next week. Everybody have a good one. Be safe.
All righty. Good night.
Bye-bye. She shook the water bottle.